Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be going through the challenge solution walkthrough for 2026 Vibe Predictor on BugForge. This was a really fun lab. I learned a lot doing this lab because the specific implementation of the vulnerability was not something that I was already really familiar with. So I had to do some research and to figure out what I needed to do in order to get my solution working. So um, this is the app right here. If you look, there's not a whole lot of functionality outside of just this get my prediction. So if we click that, it's going to ask us a series of questions. I'll just say my name is Tester123. My favorite color is green. Sure, I like cheese and I prefer coffee. So it's thinking, and in a minute, there we go. It gives us our prediction. Um, so these are just completely random predictions. They don't really have anything to do with the vulnerability or solving the challenge. But what's interesting to note here is that the input that we gave uh, the app is reflected back to us. So anytime that I see input that I've given to an app being reflected back to me, the first thing that I think of is checking to see if I can get any kind of cross-site scripting or if there's anything that I might be able to do with cross-site scripting. Um, and if we look here, go into our inspector and check, we can see that this is being reflected inside of a paragraph tag right here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just check to see if I can get any kind of HTML injection. We find that request with my name in it. There we go. And the first thing I'm going to do is just check to see uh, if I can get any kind of HTML injection and see if the HTML um, renders on the page. So if I come back here and refresh the page, we can see that it does actually render. So I've got a strike through. Um, Now the interesting thing with this is I'll show you in just a moment. We can get cross-site scripting, but it's essentially a self XSS. There's really not there's not anything that we can do with it. On error equals alert document domain. Now if I resend that and check again, so now we get vibes were blocked. Try to find the flag instead. Okay, so no cross-site scripting anymore. There was an update since I first did this, but that's fine. It kind of uh, goes to the point that I was trying to make. Even if we did have cross-site scripting on this, um, there's really nothing that we could do with it. There's no other users. If you look, there's nothing in our local storage that we could try to exfiltrate. Uh, there's nothing to send, nothing to send to anybody else, nothing like that. So there's really not a lot we can do with that. So we have to try to figure something else out. So the next thing that I thought was it seems like they're using some kind of a template for this, right? So we've got hello and then something, whatever we put in, and then exclamation point and then these little stars, right? So it seems like it's using some kind of a template. So what we can do is check to see. So this is using um, Node.js uh, for the app, Express for the API. So it's probably using the EJS templating engine. So um, what we can try is just a basic um, EJS template injection, check. And this is the same sort of thing that you would do with any other um, templating engine. Is all I'm doing right here is just checking to see if it processes the arithmetic. If it's vulnerable, it should come back and say hello 49, and then we can go from there. But this is a good quick way to kind of confirm. And sure enough, it does. So um, from this, we can tell that that it's processing our arithmetic. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to check to see if I have access to the global process object. So a way that I can do that is just do type of process. Um, if I have access to this, it should come back and say object. So let's send that and then refresh, and it does. So I have access to the global process object. So when I dig into that a little bit, I find that the process object has this env method, or the env property. And what it does is it returns an object containing the complete user environment. So this is all of your environment variables, right? So let's see. Let me go back here, and I'll show you what this shows. Um, I'm just going to do process env at first and just show you what it comes back with. So um, spoiler, it's not going to come back with anything useful. It's just going to say object object, right? So this is telling me that it's returning an object to us. So I need to get some information out of that. So what I'm going to do is I want to get all of the keys out of that object. So I can use object keys process env and send that, refresh. Now I get this big long list, and this is all of the uh, environment variable keys. And if we scroll over, all the way over, we see that there's an environment variable called flag. Okay, so that's obviously the one that we want to target. Okay, so we can come back over to Kaido and replace this and just say process env flag. And this should get us our flag. So come back over to Firefox and refresh, and we do. Um, so this, just like any other SSTI vulnerability, the biggest issue is that the user input is being concatenated directly into the templating engine without any kind of standardization or input validation or anything like that. Um, but I really enjoyed this lab. Like I said, this wasn't something that I was already familiar with. Uh, I'm not a Node developer. I'm not super familiar with Express or with EJS, so it was really fun having to do some of that research and figure it out. Um, and obviously bounce some ideas off of some folks that are a lot smarter than me on this stuff. But yeah, I really had a good time with this one. I hope you did as well. And that's it for this video, and we'll see you next time.